has it also been dawning on you that to get results in life, it is absolutely not about applying force, simply applying our will, forcing our way through something, using only determination to get results? Let's explore this deeper. And welcome back to my channel, in which we speak about self-mastery and how we can live the best life from the inside out. And so if this has also been dawning on you, let's unpack this a little further, because that is part of the old dynamic. Part of the old dynamic is to apply force, to simply apply your will. Say, if I do something every single day consistently, if I force myself to do it, if I sit down and do the work and that's it, then I will get the results that I am after. And that can work to an extent. And from what I have seen, that can work really, really well for some people. People get great results. However, there is a huge cost involved. And that cost looks like it being to the detriment of physical health. So you're trying to use all of your life force energy to apply your will to make something happen. And because there is no balance, because there is no giving back to the self, what happens is you have to go deep into your reserves. You have to use your life force energy, and when you do not replenish it, then you get burnt out. And so there are so many better ways of accomplishing the goals that we want to accomplish. And what I want to talk about today is coming into that balance between the masculine and the feminine energy, and also how do we move forward in a way where we can create that beautiful, beautiful dream life, where we can achieve those beautiful goals we've set ourselves without it being at the detriment to our health, to our mental health, to our social batteries, to how we show up for others. Because when we use that old dynamic of achieving things, the cost is too great, and we do not have to engage in manifesting and creating in that way no longer. It's redundant now. So part of, as I mentioned just now, part of the new way is coming into harmony with the masculine and feminine energies. So what that means is, in the old way, it would be very much the masculine energy of taking action, doing, going forward, taking, getting, applying will, applying force, using only your willpower, using only your mind to try and move forward to achieve your goal. And when we come into harmony with the feminine principle of surrendering, of receiving, and using these energies together, something different happens. Instead of just applying our will and going for something, we are also open, we are also listening, we are also tuning in, we are also tuning to our intuition. Because when we try to achieve things solely from a mind level, we are missing out on using those whispers that may have an even better idea for us, that may have an even better way for us to achieve our goals. When we tune in, when we allow ourselves to come into our intuitive part, we might suddenly find ourselves following our intuition. We don't know what's going on, we don't know why, and suddenly we meet exactly the right person to continue on that project with. And so coming into balance with these two aspects and moving forward with these in harmony is one of the ways that we want to embody to create that beautiful dream life from a place of integrity and wholeness and so much self-love. Because it is so loving to not have to apply brute force to get what we want to the detriment of our health or whatever it may be. It is beautiful to come into our will, to apply our will, and also to dip into the nectar that is within us, to take sips, to ask our intuition, what about your opinion? What have you got to say right now? Maybe if I listen in to that deeper wisdom, I can embody a different way of achieving my goals. And part of this is the way that we even consider what our goals are. So we can, from a mind level, say, I want this. I want A. This is what I want. And then we can, when we're in integrity and wholeness, we can understand that maybe it's not even about A. Maybe it's a mixture of A and B. Maybe what we thought was our goal, what we really wanted, our deepest desire, maybe that's not the full picture. And then we get to open up the picture. And by opening up the picture, we are opening up to the bigger picture of the universe. And that's when our will can turn into the divine will. That's when we can make that shift from only serving ourselves, only serving the ego or what we want to achieve as an individual. We can open up to the wider web of life and understand that actually, if I want to have the best life, it will need to be at the service of the whole. I am not only an individual living on this planet on my own right now. I am part of the web of life. I am part of this beautiful system. I'm part of planet Earth. I'm part of humanity. I'm even part of the animal species. I am part of so many things, and everything works together. And when we surrender, when we do not only want to apply force, but when we also come into the feminine principle of surrender, then we can surrender our will into the divine will. And the divine will is at the service of the whole. The divine knows what is best for the whole. So when we tune into that aspect, then we can move with that energy of the whole. We can understand our part to play in this big ecosystem. That's one of the reasons why I love ants so much. Ants, they all work together for this incredible system that they create, this incredible home, how they all come together, how they all work together. That's such a beautiful representation of an aspect of humanity as well. We are all constantly co-creating together, and the more that we can do that consciously, the more fun it becomes, the more beautiful it becomes, the more juicy it becomes, the more fulfilling it becomes. Because instead of just giving to ourselves, we are giving to the whole, and by giving to the whole, we receive so much. Giving and receiving on a higher aspect is the same thing. On a lower aspect, it's not. You may give because you want something back, or you may be taking instead of receiving. You may be taking. You may be trying to give to yourself, only to yourself. It's not reciprocal. When it is in tune with the divine, when it is in tune with the higher way of living, then giving and receiving is the same thing. Every time I give, it's from a place of love. And love creates harmony. Love is what can bring everyone together. Love is what we can tap into to understand the whole, to understand how everything works together. And so giving from a place of love is also receiving, because when we give from a place of, I love you and I love myself and I have this to offer you, then you are also giving yourself the gift of seeing that pleasure that someone else is experiencing. And receiving is also a way of giving, because when you allow somebody else to do that for you, you are giving them the gift of seeing your happiness, your joy, your wow, thank you so much. The other day I went to the beach and I didn't have any swimming things with me. I went with my family and they're not really big swimmers. And so I got there and I just couldn't resist the water. The water was too beautiful. I just had to go in. And it was warm enough that I thought, okay, I can probably just dry in the sunshine. And so I went for a swim in my underwear. It was great. It was so beautiful, such a magical experience. It was on the solstice as well. And I got out of the water and it was warm. It was warm, but it felt uncomfortable to be wet and also have wet underwear on that I didn't know what to do with. And then this beautiful, beautiful stranger came up to me and said, I have a spare towel that I'm not going to use. Do you want to use that? She probably overheard me saying, oh, I wish I had a towel right now. And so I got to use her towel, and that really made me feel so comfortable, so nourished. And I got to be dry. I got to take my underwear off, like completely off, and just put my dress back on. And I got to continue my day being dry and comfortable on a physical level, thanks to that beautiful assistance from that stranger. And that could have gone so differently. And yet that magic happened. That magic was real. That's how it worked out. And it was so beautiful. So these are the magical things that we can create when we are open to receiving as well. When we are accepting, when we can accept the love of others. And accepting the love of others starts with us first. We get to love ourselves first before we can accept other people. And so self-love being a practice is also so powerful. So the final thing I'd like to mention is, on this journey that we've been on how to create, how to achieve our goals, how to move forward in that way, the way that we can embody this connected masculine and feminine principles in balance and harmony kind of way is by setting an intention. Instead of saying, this is my goal, this is what I'm going for, this is it, this is what I'm going to strive for, this is what I'm going to force my way into. Setting an intention has such a different energy. Setting an intention is like, okay, this is what I'd like, and I'm also opening to receive. I don't have to do everything to achieve this goal. I am setting that intention, and I'm also opening to receiving anything that will be in relation to what I'm intending to call in. And so intention setting is the highest way that we can manifest, that we can achieve our goals, because it has that surrender built into it. It has that openness to receive built into it, and that trust. And when we set a goal and it's not from a place of setting an intention, it can very much be, I have to have this thing to be happy, and we're very attached to the outcome. That creates resistance, and then it's so much less likely that we can achieve that goal in a healthy way. However, setting an intention has that openness, that curiosity, that playfulness, and that way of saying, okay, this is my intention, this is where I'm going, this is my North Star, this is where I'm going, so I'm going to take steps, and I'm also going to allow whatever assistance comes, whatever assistance wants to come and support me on this journey, I'm going to allow that, and I'm going to welcome it and move forward with that assistance. Moving forward in life with the things that we want to call in, manifesting all of these things ultimately, it's not about achieving the goal, it's about how we live our life. If we live our life in a way where we're like, right, I really want this thing, I'm going to force myself to do it, it doesn't matter to what detriment, I'm going to get it, I'm going to do it. If we live like that, then we are living in a way where we are struggling, where we are causing ourselves pain, where we are doing things in a way that doesn't feel good for our system on all levels. So we can achieve that goal, and then once we've achieved it, the way that we achieved it wasn't good, wasn't healthy. It was probably the detriment of something. And then once we've achieved it, it's like, oh great, I've achieved it. And then it's like, okay, what's the next thing? However, when we live in a way of intention, of intentionally setting goals, or just simply setting intentions, then we can enjoy the journey. We can embody that way of achieving that goal by saying, okay, this is what I want. This is what I'm calling in. I think this will be awesome. And it's not about getting that thing. It's about living my life moment to moment in the best way. So if that thing takes longer to get, or whatever it is, doesn't matter. I am embodying a way of life where I get to enjoy, where I get to trust, where I get to take inspired action, because it is important. I still need to take action to achieve my goal. It's not about just saying, oh, I just trust the universe. The universe will do everything for me, and then nothing happens. I get to take divinely inspired action, and it should be fun. Taking action is fun when it comes from a place of integrity and wholeness. It's not meant to feel like a struggle. Yes, it will be challenging sometimes because we're overcoming our lower aspects, our ego, our fear. Our fear will be like, no, don't do it. And we'll be like, no, I will do it. And that feels uncomfortable. That's different though than forcing our way into something. And so we get to overcome that, oh, okay, I'm scared, but I'm doing it. And then it feels so rewarding afterwards. So taking action is fun. Taking action is so awesome. And then, yes, we get to also understand that it's not only me who creates my dream life. There is so much more to this. So many things are happening on so many levels that I can do my best to tap into through meditation or whatever practice I may have. And I can tune myself into that frequency. I'm never going to understand the full picture, so I get to trust the divine, and I get to enjoy those moments where it's like, ooh, right place at the right time. Sweet. Awesome. Let's do this. Thank you. Thank you, divine. Thank you so much. I could have never created this synchronicity right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how we can embody the juiciest and most fulfilling way of achieving our goals, which ultimately is just simply living the best life. It is simply living a life in the way that feels good moment to moment. And give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to the channel. And I'm super excited to see you in the next video.